Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Hope you are doing well. Trust you had a fabulous weekend and hope you are staying warm wherever you are. I am here in sunny Southwest Florida, and it is quite chilly this morning for those of us who live here. So hope you are staying warm wherever you are. Thank you so much for joining us today. This is Monday Manna. I am Darla Bonk, CEO and founder of Darla Bonk Consulting. And every Monday, we do our very best to come live to you and bring to you clarity for the calling and direction for the doing. Very often leaders who are responsible for a lot are trying to balance everything together from their faith as well as what their leadership experience needs to be. And this is where we bring that all together so you can walk in the fullness and the wholeness of who you are and who you were called to be. It's Monday morning. We want to give you as much encouragement as possible. So if you are just joining us, every single week, we bring a theme to the conversation. We bring some scripture to back that up. We give you some examples of things that might help resonate with you. And then we give you 3 takeaways that you can take back into your business, your family, your community, in order to become the best leader you possibly can be. And you guys who know me very well know the best leaders raise other leaders. So I want to talk to you today about explanation over experience and experience over explanation. You find many people in the world who want to explain how they think you should be doing something, and they think that matters more than actually the experience of going through it. But we who have been in the trenches know the experience is always going to be more impactful than just explaining. I can share with you and tell you a lot of things about what I've gone through in my life, but it would just be explaining to you. Unless you have experienced what I have been through in my life, you'll never be able to understand. And I want to really give you confidence in something that sounds so basic, and we all know this, but trusting the experience that you're walking in and that you're about to walk through from what you have walked in. And our first verse today is from Galatians 1:10, and it says, "Am I now trying to win the approval of human beings or God? Or am I trying to please people? If I were still trying to please people, I would not be a servant of Christ." And then John 10:27, "My sheep listen to my voice. I know them and they follow me." And there really comes a point in every leader's life where the noise just gets so loud, right? The advice, the opinions, well-meaning warnings, even criticism that might be disguised as concerned. Well, if you are not careful as a leader, you're going to start to live by commentary instead of by calling. And because explanations are everywhere, look on social media. Everyone has one. Everyone has an opinion. Everyone needs to weigh in on something, right? Everyone thinks they know what you should do, how you should do it, and why your timing might be right or wrong. But this is your business. This is your project. This is your insert, whatever that needs to be for you. And here's what a lot of people don't want to admit is that their explanation is coming from simple observation. You are living from experience. I can't tell you how many times people have said to me and to my husband, "You guys should do this or to do that." And none of those people have ever signed the front of a paycheck or been responsible for making sure people's livelihood is going to be taken care of every Friday when they go to their bank or when they get their direct deposit. They're explaining to you something that they've never experienced, and you are letting that doubt or that commentary impact what your experience should be based off what other people's explanation is. Observation sees pieces of what you might be doing, but you are living from the entirety of that experience. And there's going to be seasons when God will allow you to walk a path that doesn't make any sense to anyone watching, not because he is hiding, but because he is forming. Because direction from God is rarely crowd approved in real time. Direction from God is rarely crowd approved in real time. And when you start chasing approval, you will drift from obedience. And your life will always be shaped more by the voice you trust and the opinions more than the voice you trust than the opinions that you hear. So the question isn't who has something to say. The question needs to be whose voice has authority in my life? Because when experience with God becomes your compass, explanation from people loses its power. You've heard me say this 1,000 times. I would love for all of you to like me. I'd love for all of us to be friends. But if you don't like me, or if you don't care for me, or care for what I do, or care for what I have to say, that's none of my business. I'm not answering to you, right? So when experience with God becomes your compass, explanation from people will lose its power. So here's your 3 takeaways for the week. Number 1, filter every opinion through alignment, not emotion. Encouragement is a gift, but direction is sacred. If it doesn't align with what God is confirming in your spirit, it's information. It is not instruction. Number 2, stop waiting for universal understanding before you move. Obedience is going to often look confusing to the observer. Your history with Him is the evidence, and evidence creates courage. And number 3, let your lived experience with God build your confidence. Obedience is going to be what builds your confidence, because clarity doesn't come from consensus. It comes from conviction, and it comes from the willingness to obey. Because as we know, obedience is better than sacrifice. So again, filter every opinion through alignment, not emotion. Number 2, stop waiting for universal understanding before you move. And number 3, let your lived experience with God be what builds your confidence. So this week, I want you to refuse to let your commentary that you see compete with the calling that you know. You do not need everyone to understand your steps. You do need to, though, stay close enough to God to hear His steps, because your steps are ordered by Him. Because in the end, experience with Him will always outrank explanation from them. So walk boldly, trust deeply, and move forward knowing that the path is clearer when the voice you follow is His. All right, guys, that's Monday Manna. That's how we do it. I'll see you guys right back here next Monday. Make it a great week.